you see my companies and it, these phone companies ana Xiaomi, ana Apple, ana Samsung, ana Redmi, ana Vivo, ana Chichi, you find out that they always there's always something behind the statements mezi. If you go behind the scenes and you put the curtain and you do a little bit of digging, you find out that sometimes explain or communicate to the customer as serious amazing. So in 2021 I did it. It was the beginning of my boxes, my box ma phone kuita madiki shenkening kuita anga kuroda iso izha madiki, and the reason for that was we are doing it for the environment mezi. We are planning kuita reduce the carbon print ma company to 0 by 2030 mezi. And that's the angle questions machines ma company anana Apple, anana Xiaomi, anana Samsung especially. And if you see this reason and it wona ana Huawei, ana iPhone, ana IT, ana Infinix, which will include my charger box. So does that mean with these companies do not care about the environment and it? But I don't think that's the reason messy. If you find out company, there's always two reasons they do things and it. There's the real reason you are and the reason you are not the consumer, the customer they are saving humanity, but that's not even the case messy. So in 2021 I did it was the beginning of phones. Every phone company, the major ones, the big dogs, anga kunza mafona sana charger mezi. It was just a cable. If you buy a new phone, you are just getting a phone, cable, ni paperwork, it's not a battery. So iPhone was the first company to do this mezi. And we always say just because iPhone is the giant in the smartphone world, when they do things, they don't just do things. There's usually a very good reason they are doing that. And if you put the curtain by iPhone and I think it was honorable, and I actually commend them for being honest about it. But the fact that my companies, another Samsung, especially Samsung, what they did was when the iPhone 12 came with no charger in the box, they actually slammed the iPhone for doing that. Going as far as to Twitter, X, is Samsung, we will never do that. We will always include the charger in the box. But in 2021, literally 1 year after saying that, we saw the S21s coming with no charger in the box. Mezi S21 no charger. I'm going box it already. So I think the thing is, this phone brands, everything that they say, there are always two reasons that they do for putting my stance on it, my statements on it, these actions that they do. There's always the reason for the consumer, the customer, and the real reason. And in this video, the real reason I will be telling you is that what they did in Nigeria is just actually the dynamic company, the way they milk money from you. So let me explain that. In 2019 and tangata visiro headphone jack that kaburi karopida wide earphones, and after 1 year tag visiro after charger and but if you find out not including a charger, they say it was for the environment. They preach we are doing it for the environment, but is it actually good for the environment? Way in more ways the consumer, the buyer. So in Nango, I'm saying it's literally 1 year after removing the headphone jack, and I think jinjakada isoka create my effects akawanda, and so the big deal is just because what you think of for this in a charger pane zvinhu zvakawanda zvatongoitika zvinoita kuti utoona kuti pamwe pacho zvoti for the environment is just it's a bunch of crap zvavanenge vachitotaura izvozvo maiziva. So why is it a big deal maiziva? So in this video I'm just going to go about zvinhu zvandoonawo zvandakafind out kuti zvinoitikawo kana foni isina charger maiziva. So handem video. Obviously, like I said, in the beginning there's the real reason. So the real reason is they just wanted to shift my methods vatore mari kwatira. So the added expense was that just because you are not getting a charger anymore, you have to go out and buy an official charger to take advantage of the charging speeds dzaunenge watengera phone yako. The bonus yekutenga phone inenge ine charging speed yakati mbishana maiziva. So you have to obviously go out and buy an official charger. If you check how much a charger, an official Samsung or Apple charger costs, you find out that those things go for about $8, $10, $30 for just a charger. So think about that, man. $10, $30 ungotenga charger chete. Uteka phone yetu about $300. Wautoteka for charge $30, waupira about $330 just because the company was too lazy to just include a box. This is not for the environment, to be honest. I don't think it's for the environment. Open minded to. So it becomes very obvious that they just wanted to make the most money from you, and to get the charger in the box was actually an advantage for all of us, because test to go benefit our partner. But the fact that these companies they are just aimed to get the most profits. For the environment. So manukon effects and that which sometimes companies as big as Samsung, iPhone, Chichi, you'll find out that a lot of phones, they sell a lot of phones, millions of phones, tens of millions of phones, and sometimes you pass that phone on to a family member or a friend, or sometimes if you find out that one not phone you are not upgrade. But that is becoming hard and hard just because you can order a phone, obviously expect to charge. But ona utungompa phone chita pananga na chimwe charge urumbo. And if you are caring enough, you have to go out of your way to tengo charger money, and that is more money going into Samsung, going into Apple. And you see kuti ukasatodaro utomu kwadzo cause charger your so you get degrade over time, and sometimes you get too far for it, especially kana wakatoteka itori fake for which I'm getting into manji. If you say to take a 20 fake with my charging speeds that you pong a story or charger now pace up of which phone you're going to phone your company get to degrade or battery you charge a degrade or sales and garum card to wiring to. So it's getting harder and harder. Resale value ye phone ya wanungu amboshandi seyo the fact that ukanda take and isiro kana charger, you are selling it for cheaper just because ukutekesera board phone cheta pasira charger, whereas kare waiteka kuchitekesa phone adidi waitungo isa charger yacho box zvanga iri utongo anokamara kakati pane izvezvo maize. So the other thing was fake chargers. Fake chargers azara mana Zimbabwe muno meeting mungo dampwa zvinhu zviri fake. I'm not why. So when chargers came inside my box and it was an official charger igagadzirwa specifically for that phone model yaunenge watenga iyo, and it was just hassle free maize. Waitongozoti watenga phone yako wautongobvisa box wautongoona kachaja kako wautobayira pamagetsi zvese ball, and it was just stress free maize. But like now mazuano ngatenga phone dzingo munhu anenge asingatoziva ari kunotoregedza totenga charger chasi kuzi anga sutoziva amune musina charger atosvika padhini pepe kuvhura phone ona hamuna kana chino baba. And just because unenge watenga phone uchimhanya pepe sometimes tombototengera kana mwana ukazoda mutengera charger separate ukampa mari utaendotsvaga ega just because vanhu vanenge vasingazive zvechiitika arigona tenga kana fake charger cheche yoiti phone yawamutengera yacho inenge ichitosapota kana macharging speeds akatoti iye kuti inotenga charge isingasapoti maspeeds wayo. So that is actually a disadvantage irungo. Like I said, these are disadvantages zviri kuya kwatiri mabuyers isusu. But the companies are benefiting. Vachipreach kuti here we are doing it for the environment, we did it for the environment. Zvakashata izvozvo. It is not for the environment. This was never for the environment, and maybe a certain percentage is for the environment, something like 10-20%, but 80% is just for profits. Targeted for profits. So yeah, I think this is not really something that you should believe. And if this was true, they are doing for the environment, my boxer if a phone brand designs a box, they design it specifically vachiziva kuti pane space ichasiwa yekuisa charge on box, so it is more efficient at the scale yana Samsung yana Redmi nana iPhone nana Apple chichaya. So they design it specifically my compartments yekuisa charge neatly. But mazuva ano unotoona kuti ukatoenda kutenga charger inenge itori nepackaging yayo yakatokura zvekuti sometimes if you find out kuti the waste yauto is more, and wakutotenga separate charger ine packaging yayo of which one box yefone ripo kare, and you find out kuti cardboard yawatoshandisa ipapo yakatowanda kudarika dai charger yangowanikwa mubox. So if you look at Tecno, Infinix, Redmi, and on our way, why are they including a charger? And I think, like I said, these are the companies that actually care about us. And because no charge is just a merit, just a benefit for all of us, and pano chikiribiri chinodarika ipapo visa chino chiri essential se charger gaya ya mana kana nemio. So nowadays nowadays you see kuti it's just becoming normal mezi kuti ukatongotenga phone from the big dogs, anana Apple, kana uchitenga iPhone, kana uchitenga anana Samsung, you know kuti you're not getting a charger, and achisiri chinhu chakawanda ichocho. So what I recommend is kana uchitenga phone and ask mana vanongotenga phone, ask kuti ndinoda official charges phone yakadai, so wotengesera phone and kazhinji unobva watopiwa discount just because watenga zvinhu 2 kune munhu one mezi. And if you are not comfortable with that, if you decide kuti unotsvaga wega ndeti, just find out kuti charger yatenga ndeti kana iri official inenge ine ka safety mark kanenge kari up ndokanofanira kutarisa ikako mezi. Also kana watenga phone, make sure kuti ukuziva charging speed yefone watenga, and kana utsvaga charger make sure kuti utsvaga charger iri compatible nefone watenga iyo, because sometimes kana une S series, especially ma Samsung, those top of the line S series, they support 45 watts charging, so you don't need to buy a 25 watt charger kana phone yako support 45 watts, and you should experience the benefits yemari yawaspenda pa phone yako. And if you have Samsung, especially my A series, they usually don't support 45 watts, so there's no need to take a 45 watt charger. Save that money or take a 25 watt charger no support on the phone yako. So like I said, my statements in my company, I always say there are 2 reasons, and so just do a little bit of digging. It's not always for the buyer. Zvinhu zvangoti unofanira kungoteerera, but haufanira kunyanya kuzvisa muhana steri kutoti company yakadai, so inofanira kutondikoshesa steri maizi. So always approach these company statements with open eyes, and that's it from me, and I'll catch you in the next one very soon. iPhone 18 will be coming out in September, and I will be covering that, so subscribe to the channel for content like this. If you love tech, this is your spot. Share the link, and I will catch you in the next one. Akakanaka ndokandagadzira video akagaye. Peace.